Good day. We're very fortunate in having once again Webster. This is the final in the series of interviews which we're doing with him. Today we're going to talk about Elon Musk. Webster, welcome once more.
Thank you very much.
Tell me quite briefly, who is Elon Musk?
If I put it in a simple sentence, he's what you would consider an industrialist. He has acquired and built companies, and those companies have produced products which have revolutionized the lifestyle of people around the world. So I would quote him as being an industrialist.
He first came to, I would say, the attention of many of us with the election of Donald Trump. And I can still picture him walking in the White House with his little son sitting on his shoulder. I think that this was probably the first time that many of us became aware of Elon Musk. Why was he brought into the government of the United States?
Okay. So he was previously a supporter of the Democrat Party while President Obama was in office, and he he had obtained a lot of popularity with the Democratic supporters back then. But they had a policy disagreement after Obama left office, and he came over to Trump. One of the things that Trump was impressed with was the way he ran his companies and the way that he actually was effective as a CEO. So he was brought in on a pilot project to see if they could identify waste within the government and propose ways to cut waste. So that program was called DOGE, which had the authority to go to different government departments and look at the books and try to identify and cut government waste. So that is where his relationship with Donald Trump started.
Tell me how successful he was in implementing this DOGE system.
I would say it's a mixed bag because one was that in the beginning, he made promises to cut $1 trillion of spending. That promise was never realized, but the success that he had was actually shining a light into a lot of these government agencies and identifying archaic processes that need to be changed and also identifying wasteful spending. So he was able to identify wasteful spending. He was able to identify, um, you know, in processes that were not up to today's standard and recommend changes. So that is where I think he was successful.
Let's look on the sort of what I would describe as the enigma of Elon Musk. My understanding that he's heavily involved in this outer space. I do recall, I don't know if I'm correct, where some astronauts were stuck in space for some time. And was he able to rescue them from outer space?
Yes, he was. But let me just give you a quick background of his company involved in space exploration, SpaceX. When the government organization NASA's shuttle program was shot down, they had several years of not having an American craft to get people to space. They relied on the Russians, and SpaceX was a company founded by Elon Musk, which was able to fulfill the needs. Uh, when the space shuttle program was discarded, SpaceX and a Boeing company, Starlink, they were chosen by the government as the two companies to actually compete to send astronauts to space. SpaceX was able to meet the challenge, and Starlink attempted to bring astronauts to the space station. So their craft launched, and but they had a lot of problems on the trip. And as a result, once the craft got to the space station and astronauts were able to get aboard at the space station, it was viewed that their craft was not stable enough to bring them back to Earth. So this is where Elon Musk came in with his craft, which was able to rescue them and bring them back home safely.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Uh, Tell us something about his sort of spread throughout the world with his electric cars. I think Tesla is
Yes.
saying, how did this really sort of?
So Tesla was a struggling electric car company which did not have a lot of market share. Elon Musk bought it. He brought in a lot of his engineers. They basically revolutionized the car's design, and they basically built a lot of infrastructure throughout the United States and North America, to including charging stations to allow these cars to be charged. He also worked with other electric car makers to standardize the charging port so that other electric cars could use it. So he contributed quite a bit to the electric car market with the Teslas.
My recollection is that during his association with Donald Trump, the sale of Tesla plummeted. Why was this so?
Well, remember when I was talking about the DOGE initiative with the government, where the the emphasis was on cutting spending and reducing waste. As a result of the DOGE effort, a lot of jobs were eliminated, and the opposition parties and other people took offense to that, and they were campaigning against him, and it got very personal. So a lot of affected people felt emboldened to actually lash out at Elon Musk by um, damaging cars on the street and charging stations. And this is kind of where the backlash occurred.
Now that he is out of government, how is Tesla doing?
Tesla is doing okay. They have somewhat rebounded a little bit after that big after that big issue with demand dropping. Somehow rebounded, so and it has stabilized. The other thing too is that with him not being completely involved with Trump, he's able to devote the attention that the company needed. So a lot of people in this company are thankful that he is no longer spending all of his time in Washington D.C. with the president.
Looking through your crystal ball, what are some of the new things that you think we can expect from Elon Musk in going forward?
Okay, so he has a company that is actually researching, helping people that are paralyzed. It's called Neuralink. And Neuralink has developed a device. It's right now in its experimental stages, but it's planted in the brain of people that are paralyzed, and it is supposed to send messages to the parts of the body to help once, sometime in the future, to be able to restore the communication that has been cut between the brain and parts of the body, to one day help them be able to move. What he's also done is, with that Neuralink, he's able to link the person to a computer to actually send out, words and thoughts on the computer screen to allow that person to communicate with the outside world. So that's one of the things he is involved in. He has also taken an effort to the internet market, because for many years In order to get service for the internet, you had to run cables underground, which is a very, very expensive product. So he has started Starlink, which by launching several satellites above space, and that has helped a lot of underdeveloped countries in Africa get internet service without having to still do the investment of running cables. And it actually provided a lot of assistance to Jamaica. Jamaica experienced a severe hurricane, Melissa, a few months ago. A lot of the internet services were uh, cut out, and he was able to turn on Starlink above Jamaica and provide the services for free for a certain period of time, which helped in the recovery effort.
My understanding is that he has about 12,000 satellites at the present time in
Yes,
orbit.
yeah,
It's amazing. Now, we talk about Elon Musk. I'm certain that he doesn't stand alone. He has a team, eh?
yes, he does.
How was he able to sort of mobilize this group of, I would say, exceptional experts to assist in getting these things off the ground?
Well, he has an eye in identifying talent and he doesn't care where that talent comes from. And he will actually go down to the level of high schoolers. If he's able to identify a brilliant person in high school, he will uh, try and recruit that person. So he'll go through high school and universities and recruit people, and he has an eye for doing that. And what I find with him is that his team, a lot of them are very young, very ambitious, very they're very technologically literate,
Mhm.
and he is able to spot those people and bring them onto the company, and he works with them. The other thing that helps is that he has an engineer in mind, so he actually camps out at the companies when they're working on a project. He'll actually sleep on the floor,
Really?
and he will be there 24/7, and he will actually provide assistance to them. So he's completely in the loop. And I think when they see his level of dedication, they work harder and they get results.
I recall, hearing that while he was in the White House, he brought in an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old
Yes.
people to, I mean, persons to really sort of, assist in
Yeah.
what work there was to be done. Of course, I think that this caused quite an uproar um,
Yes.
in Washington.
Yes.
You know, these young people coming in, being exposed to the records and what have you. But this seemed to be in alignment with what you're saying about him scouting for talent.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so it's not necessarily the experienced person, but potential
Yeah.
youngsters with potential.
Yeah. The thing with Elon Musk and the DOGE effort was that they actually developed computerized methods that relied on AI and pattern recognition to to scour through millions and millions of pages of documents and summarize it in a way that would take normal investigations months to actually do. And the fact that he had a student that was at MIT that decided to take a break from studies to assist the Doge effort made a lot of people criticize that he's allowing 18-year-olds to see government records. But they weren't really looking at government records per se in terms of identifying personal information. They're looking at government records to identify unusual patterns and flagging it so that it could be identified for fraud or identifying on processes that are obsolete that needed to be upgraded. So the fact that he had young people on the team, even though weren't reporting to him, caused a lot of his critics to focus on them rather than focus on the effort that he was trying to do.
It seems to me that Elon Musk brings great promise to the world in which we live, that in going forward with, you know, his technological skills, and I would suppose his mathematical genius,
Right,
because this will also be involved. He's exploring areas that probably were thought to have been impossible.
right.
Um, so Elon Musk, what does he hold out for the future of the world in which we live?
So he has a company called Neuralink, and Neuralink is was formed to help people that were paraplegics and quadriplegics. So it's basically a chip that's implanted in the brain to help the body communicate with other parts of the body that the communication has been severed. He's also allowed people in that condition to communicate through a computer screen and help them to be able to actually access a computer and do things as surf the internet and other things. So he has a goal to help people that have been impacted by accidents or people that are paraplegic. Also, um, he's also looking at space exploration further than what has been done before. So he's working on a new spacecraft called the Starship, which he wants to develop the capability of bringing human beings to the planet of Mars. So he's involved with that project as well.
Is he eccentric? I'll tell you why I ask. It's most unusual to see someone walking in the White House. The president is sitting around his desk, and he has he's standing with a little boy on his shoulder. Is there some sort of what you'd call abnormalcy?
Yeah. So a lot of people have said that he's autistic, that
Yes.
he has had to overcome that. And you would find a lot of people that are very, very brilliant
Yeah,
in a particular
being
field
autistic. Yeah,
are autistic or
that's right.
have some other challenge.
Yeah. Oh, this is really, really, really amazing. This is really amazing. Um, how old is Musk at the present time?
I believe he's in his mid 40s. I believe 44, 45, but I will have to double check on that. I believe it is in his 40s.
Oh, that's amazing. But he stands apart from his contemporaries. I mean, it seems to me that in Elon Musk, we're looking at what can be regarded as one of a kind.
Yes.
It is said that he is now being regarded as the wealthiest person in the world. It is so.
Yes, they're saying that his net worth could exceed $1 trillion. So he's supposed to be the first ever trillionaire to exist on Earth.
For a man in his 40s.
Yes.
Amazing. Today we have been talking about the enigma of Elon Musk, learning something from Webster. It's been my pleasure to sit at his feet. His passion is international affairs, and over the past few days, we have been getting quite a bit of insight from Webster. It only remains for me to thank him for being here with us in Jamaica, to wish him all the best in his endeavors, and to express the hope that when next he comes, we might again have the pleasure of having him here on the podcast. Webster, thank you very, very much, and a safe trip back to Toronto when you leave.
Thank you very much.